We are live. Hey, folks, welcome to another time here with Manana No Mas and myself, Kurt Von Anen. And I told you guys I was going to go live all month long. Once a day, all month long. So today I put out an announcement, threw out a deal that basically said, hey, Manana No Mas, moving into the next phase. We are expanding, we are growing. It's really fun to see this agency do that. And you know, I met with one of my trusted circle mates last week, and I just was very transparent with them. I said, hey, you know, I sell these jobs and I'm excited to do them. And I get them and I work with the people and I do the consulting. We do the use case scenarios. We do the needs assessments. We start building the projects. I said, and then what's weird is, you know, I still get things done on time and under budget and all the things that Manana No Mas is known for, but I catch myself. And tell me if this happens to you. In fact, before you tell me if this happens to you, please know that if you're seeing this now live, feel free to pop in with a comment, say hi, let me know who you are, where you're from. Right now, I usually send this out to the Manana No Mas Facebook page, but it's going out to my standard Facebook profile page. I thought maybe I'd find some new people in there. And then, of course, it's on LinkedIn and YouTube as well. So, folks, if you are seeing this on any of those three channels, pop in, say hi, tell me where you're coming from, and I'll try to interact with you here. I'll see that pop up in my comment area. So one of the things that I was talking to my friend about last week was, dude, I get it all done on time, under budget. That's what Manana No Mas is about. But I find myself procrastinating. So tell me if that happens to you. Are you stuck working on something and you're going, you know, hey, you know, I'm working on this thing, I'm doing this thing, but I'm not. I'm looking at Facebook, I'm looking at LinkedIn, I'm looking at Twitter, I'm checking my email. Did I get any more messages? And you find yourself going down this weird rabbit hole instead of just buckling in and getting the work done. And then when you actually do, you know, engage and start doing the work, it just starts popping out, right? It just starts moving and grooving and everything's shaking. So, pardon me, in that respect, I think to myself, well, everything's working. That's fantastic. So as we talked and as we asked each other these very telling, interrogative, deep questions, more and more gets exposed. And that's why I tell people it's so important to get in the proximity of somebody, someone you can shake a hand with, give them a hug, you know, a band of brothers, a band of sisters, something, and really have real conversations with people. And so, you know, I told them, I said, I just feel like my sweet spot is in the helping. My sweet spot is in the problem solving, the finding a better way, the building the relationship, the communication, the needs assessment, right? When I talk to someone about a web project, I'm not just talking about a web project. I'm talking about, how does your business run? You know, how do you make these widgets? How do you distribute these widgets? How many people are on your team? What's the path you want for your customers when they visit your website? You know, are you going to train these people? Do you need an e-commerce platform? And so I have these things that I'm constantly working on with people. And that to me is kind of like where the sweet spot is. Dude from Australia, this is awesome. So David, welcome to the show, man. It's great to have you here. I go live a lot with Lifter LMS, and then I started doing these lives every day from Manana No Mas. And dude, that's awesome. Says just scrolling through and seeing this post. It's good to have you, man. Really good to have you. And it looks like you're signing in from LinkedIn. I am on LinkedIn every single day, bro. So if we are not already connected, go ahead and connect, and then we can hook up and do a quick call or something like that. I usually do that. So with people I connect with on LinkedIn, I send them a thing that says, hey, if you want to join a sales-free icebreaker call just to get to know each other, let me know if you're game for that. And then I have like a 20% conversion rate on that. And so I end up talking to about 20% of the people I'm connected to on LinkedIn, which to a lot of people sounds crazy, but especially when you don't sell them anything, that really freaks them out. But, hey, who are you? What are you working on? Yeah, it says you're an accountant, but, what are you working on? Like, what big project are you in right now that you're really excited about? Are you up to any events? Is there anything I can share for you? Any links I can share? And is there anyone on my list that you want to meet? Right. And then so when you have a conversation with somebody like that, it goes over, really, really well. And so that's how I'm connected to so many people on LinkedIn. David, great to have you, man. Really awesome. It's seriously good to have you. So back to what I was talking about on this procrastination issue and what I discussed with Monica Moss. So picture, if you will, I got this agency and I'm selling, WordPress websites. So that sounds simple on the surface. I focus on e-learning and membership sites. So that takes you a little bit deeper down that rabbit hole as to what I'm going to do with these WordPress sites. So I'm doing that, but I'm also consulting like with the business. And then I wrote that book on leadership, and then I'm doing some public speaking, and I'm doing this stuff on communication and leadership, and I'm a John Maxwell certified leadership trainer. And so things start to get a little bit muddy, right? So I'm using the leadership training and the communication and the book publishing to work with these business owners to put these projects together. But then what I find is when it's like setting up the email and setting up the shopping cart and setting up the stuff, that part's getting a little bit repetitive to me. And so I find myself in this procrastination spot. And, I'm in my 50s. It's okay. I'm allowed to get bored with something. And so when I was speaking to my friend last week, I said, I feel like I need to bring some people on and train them in like what I do and how my efficiencies work and why I'm able to build these sites so quickly. I feel like I need to bring some folks in and kind of transition those responsibilities to them so I can focus on my sweet spot, deal with more customers, more public speaking, more publishing and writing. I love the writing and the publishing. It doesn't create the revenue that the website development does, but if I have other people doing that activity, right, and profit sharing off of that, I don't have to make a fortune writing and publishing. I mean, if I did, that'd be great. But let's be realistic, there's so much content out there, especially in the world of AI, that, we're all going to be awash in words pretty soon. So, I like the writing, I like the sharing, I like the training, I like the education. So yeah, I need to bring some folks on to handle that. Okay. The other thing that's happening is I think about the things that I typically train, coach, or consult on. I say it like that very specifically. Training, coaching, and consulting are all different skill sets. The problem that we have is that a lot of people say they're a consultant when they're really a trainer, or someone that's a trainer thinks that they're a coach, but they're not a coach, right? Because they're not performing what a coach should be doing. And so there's three very different things there: trainer, coach, consultant. I'm skilled in all of them, certified in all of it. And when I think about the things that I most commonly go down the road with people on, it can be how to properly set goals. What is a SMART goal? What's a long form goal? What is an example of self-discipline? What is an example of fitness? What is an example of, so these things come up. So when you're working with a business owner and you're working with an entrepreneur and they're 400 pounds, you gotta talk about the elephant in the room. When you're talking to a business owner, an entrepreneur with 400 pounds, fitness has to be part of the conversation. It has to be. The same as if I'm talking to a dude that's 140 pounds, that's 6'2". I'm going to go, are you all right? How are you feeling? Do you have enough energy to get through this day? We've got things to accomplish. We got to make sure your fitness is optimized so that you can perform well, and then meet the goals and exceed the expectations that come with that. So here's the reason why I'm talking about all this. If I'm a coach, trainer, consultant that also does the website thing, if I can hire people and train them to run the website stuff, keep the function and the tasks moving. Do I have to oversee it? Do I have to stick my hands in every now and then? Absolutely. That's what a business owner does. But having those people on hand to be able to do that stuff, that is going to free me up to go to this sweet spot area with the consulting, the training, the coaching, and to really work on maybe some of the public speaking and writing stuff that I like to do. And to do that, and examining what I typically train people on, I thought I need to put some courses in place. And so I'm going to pull this up for you real quick. This is an addition to Mañana No Mas as of today. And I just love working with the new stuff that we're doing with Mañana No Mas and the stuff that's out. I'm going to take this over to, we'll do this screen. Okay. So yeah, you guys are seeing the infinity screen there. I'm going to go ahead and show you the Mañana No Mas site. This header up here is direct part of the Sky Pilot theme from Lifter LMS. And then I told you guys I was using that new block builder, the Maxi blocks, and that's how I was able to put together this front page. And if we look deeper into this front page, we're going to see right here, well, we're hiring. That's one, right? So moving forward, hiring people so I can hire them and train them in our processes, show them how to be efficient with this WordPress industry stuff. So we are hiring. And then if we go, where did I get rid of that? Hold on. Is it going to be under memberships? Membership catalog. Bear with me. Page not found. Now I got to do it the hard way. All right. Well, I'm pretty sure. Here we go. Hey, at least the music's good. All right, here we go. We're going to log in, and I'll go to, I didn't really want to make it public yet, so that's kind of taking me back a little. Let's go here. Let's go to course catalog. I want to go to the membership catalog. Let's view this. And what I like about what's happening here is the things that I almost have to touch everybody on, right? Is VIP gives people access to everything that I'm putting out. And the no thank you, just looking, that gives you a sample of a course. That one's going to be Embrace the Process. Embrace the Process is a great entry-level e-learning type of course. It also gets you fired up to understand that everything takes work. If you think about the book I published, Action Leadership from the Edge, it's about influence through action. And so giving folks an opportunity to sample Embrace the Process as a course really lends itself to what I've published, what the course is, and getting everybody to enjoy the site. So we're offering training there, and that's a great way to sample it, right? It doesn't cost nothing, and you get a chance to try that free course there. Now, if you take a look at this, the sections that I normally work with clients on is business leadership, goals and growth, personal development. And like I said, in a lot of cases, we can't get past the wellness and fitness thing. So, am I a personal trainer? No, I am not a personal trainer. But business leadership, goals and growth, personal development, those are all things that we end up covering from a consultation, coaching perspective. And then wellness and fitness comes up with a lot of business owners because they're so focused on business that they let their health take the back seat for too long. And then we need to have that discussion. It's a little uncomfortable sometimes, but we need to have that discussion. So this is all built. I really got to put it to the front end here soon, but it's all built. So then the other thing I wanted to do is I wanted to touch on pro tips for WordPress users. So what I'm thinking here is, I work with Lifter LMS, I work with WP Tonic, I onboard a lot of folks that are actually agencies that are building WordPress projects for other customers. I'm an agency building WordPress projects for other customers. So it seems like, is that a conflict? Is that competition? No, it's not. If you think about, and I just heard this on the Joe Rogan podcast, if you think about how comedians used to communicate with each other and how they support each other now in a post-2000s world, it's completely different. So a lot of comedians now will share the stage, or they'll have partners that they travel the country with. They'll befriend other comedians, and it makes them stronger because of their association, not weaker because they act more feral, right? And so my WordPress agency is strong. I know what I do. I'm strong in my communication, and I know where our strength is. I know where our sweet spot is as an agency. So I like to work with other WordPress agencies and share some of the secrets and the tips that we use to be efficient. I do that with the mastermind meetings that we run every week with Lifter LMS, and I think this is a good way to expand on that concept. So WordPress pro tips, and newsflash, this is the cheapest membership that I've got. I really priced this one aggressively. It's $75 for the year, and there's going to be courses and online sessions that are live so that we can build a community of WordPressers and kind of make that whole thing happen. Now, Mañana VIP was just an affordable way that I figured if I'm dealing with somebody that has to be involved in all 4 of those sections, I want to be able to treat them right and give them a bulk discount on something that covers all of the content rather than having to piecemeal stuff out to them. And so if you're wondering what kind of courses they are, let's go take a look at, let's go back to Pages, look at the course catalog. That's easier. I was going to look at the courses in the listing. That doesn't do you any good online. And so here we go. Introduction to LinkedIn Growth Networking, Embracing the Process. This is the one I'm giving away with the Just Looking membership. Goal setting. This is the short course for goal setting because we have a long course for goal setting that's a whole year. So I've got a short course for people looking for a jump start, and then I've got Goal 365, which is a year-long course, goes really deep in the goal setting process. Capitalizing on opportunities goes with my catchphrase, finding the opportunity within the obstacles. This is a replay of a WordPress basics talk that I did with Giver Marketing, and so we added that in as a course. I believe is part of personal development. Saying yes to kindness is personal development. Discipline, self-discipline, definitely part of personal development. Goals and growth is here. Behavioral-based goals. So you've heard of SMART goals and things like that. Behavioral-based goals is a kind of a similar discussion. Here's that Goal 365 I talked about. Jotting it down. This is a huge one. I put this one in personal development and in wellness and fitness because I think journaling is one of the keys in both of those environments. So Jot It Down is the name of the course, but it is all about journaling, and it's personal development and wellness and fitness. And just to give you an idea of how seriously I take journaling, I'm going to open this up to journal. Boom. Where is a good example? I wonder if I have the cover here. If I just have the cover, there it is, cover. And we'll click on that. I have a digital journal right here. This is a Remarkable 2 tablet, and I created a fillable PDF journal and tagged it all up so that I can go to, it's like 1,300 pages, right? So how do you do 1,300 pages in a tablet? I set it up with tags, so it can go from, the monthly view, the weekly view, the daily view, the notes view, the journaling view, but it's all in there, and it's amazing. So if you have not looked at journaling yet, or you thought about it but didn't follow through, I started out with the books, a book and pen. I love paper. I tried to do digital journaling like on the laptop, and it just didn't feel the same to me. I like to write, and so I picked up one of these Remarkable 2 tablets, and my world's changed. I just love it. Now, wellness and fitness. I talk about this a lot with folks. Again, I'm not a personal trainer, but I got a 5-day course to healthy success, and it talks about just getting up and getting moving. And for folks that want to switch it up and try something different, I've got a course on keto here that goes into everything that's keto. In fact, if we open up that keto course, you'll see it's got a good selection of stuff in here. If you look at, keep going. Look at this, how does weight loss normally work? The keto alternative, displace, not replace. It goes all, turbocharge a keto lifestyle. It goes through all this stuff and then comes with all these resources as well. And so I'm super excited to announce that this is the way that we are going with this. It sounds crazy, might sound nuts, because you're going to go, well, it seems like a month ago, your website was completely different. A month ago? Well, 2 months ago. 2 months ago, my website was completely different. A year ago, it was completely different than that. And 3 years ago, it was completely different than that. I am always open to growth, to change, and to trying something new to see what's going to meet my clients' needs. Again, if I can hire the right people and train them on the modalities of this WordPress agency game, using the server, getting the website spun up, putting in the proper tools, configuring things correctly so our customers can figure out their websites and get their content in. If they want us to do the content, we'll do the content. But it's like having a process so that works, so that I can continue to work with people, consult, train, and coach them to business excellence. Well, that to me is my sweet spot. And so definitely taking the steps to make that more and more official. So I'm doing more public speaking. I'm doing more guest appearances on podcasts. If you have a podcast, you need a guest, give me the shout. And folks, you'll see as we're training people and bringing people along, getting people injected into these courses and these memberships, and then eventually being able to build communities out of those is going to be huge. So I got a lot of big plans to pump through Mañana No Mas. There were people, and I'm at 22 minutes, so I'm going to wrap up here pretty quick, but there are people that have said to me, dude, what's with this Mañana No Mas name? Are you going to keep this forever? Are you always going to be like the Mañana No Mas guy? When I launched Mañana No Mas, people thought I was crazy. And then in like 2014, maybe it was 2014, I was like, man, I should probably change the name on this thing. Yeah, because I moved to California in 2013. So it was about 2014, and I was like, man, I should probably change the name of this thing. I did a search in 2014 on Mañana No Mas, and it was like 30 or 28 or 30 pages of Google search, Mañana No Mas, all the content that I had made up until that point. And I said, well, man, I got so much invested in this, so much time, so much energy. I can't change the name now. Besides, I kind of like it. Well, the branding stuck, the name stuck. Here we are, 2023, 9 years later. You search Mañana No Mas, and it is pages and pages and pages of content and referrals and backlinks and associations and networking. And so it's going to be Mañana No Mas forever, right? Now, if you add to that what I have up here as to how the site's going to morph over time and what it's actually going to become, I'm really, really excited about it. Here's the mistakes I'm not going to make. I am not going to push this inorganically. I'm not going to, put all these crazy tools in place and then wonder why nobody's using them. So you're going to see me very methodically and very strategically add features to the site and promote them so that people like you can join in and kind of sample things as we grow. You might have heard the phrase before, build in public, right? Build in public. This is very much a build in public exercise. I'm begging you guys to come in, check it out, look at the website, look at the memberships, look at the courses. If you have any questions, reach out to me on the contact page. If you click on something and it doesn't work, hit me up on the contact page, man. Let me know so I can fix it. But we're making lots of changes. We're making them quickly. But even in that quickness, I'm being very careful and methodical to not mess it up. I want to do this whole build in public thing, get you folks along for the ride, and keep going one thing at a time. I see that there's still a few people in here watching. So, folks, if you got any comments or any questions for me, go ahead and shout them out. And if not, I'll be wrapping this up here in just a second. Well, that talks about our new moves. The other thing was email woes, and I can answer this one real quick for you or tell you about it real quick. You guys know me. If you follow me at all, you know me as this, WordPress guy, does all these things. I'm on these different shows. I'm talking about configuration and automation and WordPress and WP Fusion, CRM tools and all this stuff. Well, I have a platform that I use for myself for project management, invoicing. It's kind of a CRM for me. I do my scheduling in it, things like that. So the last couple of days, I've had some people scheduled for Zoom calls, and they didn't show up for those Zoom calls. And I sent out some invoicing like Friday, and nobody's paid their invoice yet. So I was like, man, what's going on? Something's up. Well, one of my customers tells me today, he says, hey, man, I haven't received your invoices yet. When are you going to invoice me? I said, dude, I sent them already. Let me send them to you again. So we're on a Zoom call, and I hit resend, resend invoices, and my system says invoice sent, invoice sent, invoice sent. I said, dude, you got them. It's all good. And he says, okay, thanks, man. Well, he sends me a message on Slack about 2 hours later. Hey, I'm still not getting these emails, bro. I haven't gotten these invoices yet, and I want to pay you. Now imagine that. He wants to pay me. I want to get paid. And nobody has responded to any of their invoices since last week, right? So I set up a dummy invoice and I emailed it to myself, and it didn't come through. And that's when I realized, oh boy, I got a problem. So I use an SMPT server, right, to run a volume of email for me. And the connection to this one site had become disconnected, but I really don't know how. And so in order to get it reconnected, I had to go through all kinds of hoops. I had to disconnect it completely. I had to go to the default email process, which changes the email address that even sends the invoices. So I did that sample email to myself, and I got the invoice. So I knew that I knew the site at least would send email. So I said, okay, so it's not the site problem. And then I bounced back out, and I said, okay, now I need to re-enter the SMPT server. So I re-entered the SMPT server, changed the configuration of the site again, and boom, email started working. I say this not because I want to complain to you about my day. That's not it at all. But this is one of those examples of finding opportunities within the obstacles. A lot of times, clients that work with me in a WordPress environment will want email inbox functionality. And a lot of hosting doesn't come with email inbox functionality. A lot of these hosting packages only come with, they host the site, but you have to put your email somewhere else, like on MX Route or Gmail. Your URL gets split, right? And the site goes to one thing, and email goes to something else. Some customers prefer that. Other customers like it all shoved together. So for me, and in dealing with this email headache today, it's like, okay, when I host customers at Mañana No Mas, because we do some hosting, when I host customers at Mañana No Mas, I can put emails in there. I can have email inbox functionality. But how do I maintain that email functionality, and how do I put my customers at ease that the email functionality is consistent and on point, especially when I have a hard time myself even making sure my platform worked. Now, it wasn't the email problem I had today wasn't connected to my own hosting, but it was through my SMPT server, right? And so I've got to be very realistic about that. So this is a huge opportunity within the obstacle, because I have to think to myself, how much is that service really worth? Do I need to charge more for it, right? So email functionality, how much is it worth? Or is that an opportunity where I almost like subcontract it through MX Route? Like maybe I just become a vendor for them and put that into my package. But it was very, very interesting today. The email woes, I called it, right? So on one hand, I released this awesome email today that had all kinds of information in it about the courses, the training, the memberships, about the public talk we did for Dallas Fort Worth Veterans Chamber of Commerce. So we did that talk last week, and so I put out an email that had all that stuff in it today. And right after that, I had a problem with the email today. So it was like, man, I got everything happening, nothing happening, And that's, I guess, what they mean by having balance. So, folks, we're at a half hour, so I'm going to go. I'm going to let you go. I told you I'll go live every day, so I'm looking forward to seeing you on a daily. And these evening messages, I think, fit pretty well, especially when we get people jumping in here with comments and questions and stuff like that. If you see me in here again and you got a question, a comment, a concern, pop it into the comments and I'll try to address it for you. Have yourselves a wonderful day, and I will talk to you tomorrow. And before I say bye, I'm going to click this one right here.